Hello, I'm back on your screen again. I've decided to try out video blogging a few more times to see how you guys like it. I personally enjoy it more because I can chat to you, I can just speak to you like we're having a normal conversation. For me, it's a lot easier than typing, and I know that I personally, when I'm reading a blog or if I'm reading a news article or anything like that, I skim over a lot of it. It takes me a long time to get through it. So I enjoy watching video blogs. I hope that you guys are going to enjoy these, and I want your feedback. So either, leave me a comment down below or send me an email. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and if there's anything in particular you want to hear about or you want me to chat to you about, then I'm totally open to anything. So comment below or hit reply. But today, what we're going to talk about is comparisonitis, which is a phrase somebody has coined, but I can't quite remember who. So if you do remember, please let me know. But basically, I want to focus on comparisonitis in the way of social media. So basically, it's the way that you feel when you see someone living a seemingly better life than yours. And I use the word seemingly strongly because usually it is seemingly better than yours. And what I want to talk to you about today is ways to get rid of that feeling, get rid of that anxiety and that feeling of, judging your own life when you see someone living one that seems a little bit better than yours. And I have some really good tips. I have a really, really good strategy that works for me and all of my one-on-one coaching clients to stop that from happening. Now, first of all, I thought I would just explain that every single person suffers from comparisonitis. Everyone looks at the girl next to her or the man next to him and thinks, how come they have this? How come this is better than mine? How come their life is, more exciting? How come they're doing more? How come they have more? I know that I personally at this time of year see all these people traveling to Bali and I'm like, I want to go to Bali. This isn't cool. I want to be in Bali and I want to be sunbaking, and these girls normally have like beautiful new clothes on and gorgeous figures and amazing tans and their hair and makeup is done beautifully, and I'm sitting here going, I'm lucky if I can even blow dry my hair. Like, it's usually just in a ponytail like this. So I understand the feeling, but when things like this happen, there are ways to get out of it, and there are ways to be able to look at social media and look at what other people are doing in their lives and not feel that pang of, I want it, but to actually feel happy for those people and to actually be excited for what's happening in your life as opposed to envious of what's happening in theirs. So first thing first, like I said, everybody suffers from it. You are not alone. I do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure most of the other people watching this do as well. We're all in this together and we all just want to be happy and living our beautiful lives and sharing the goodness on social media because that's what our generation does. So why is the big question? Why do we judge our lives based on how good someone else's is or seemingly is? Now, I wrote a blog post about this about a year ago, and it was all about how we tend to judge our behind the scenes with everybody else's highlight reel. So while I'm mopping up spilt green smoothie from the floor and, trying to stop my baby from running around the house and pulling every single thing out of the kitchen cupboard and drawers, and then I go and sit down and I'm scrolling through social media and there's this woman walking her baby and her baby's sleeping and I'm like, hold on, my baby doesn't sleep. It messes with your mind. It makes you think that everybody has these easy lives and yours is really difficult because you don't see what's going on behind the scenes with these people. Nobody posts a picture of something awful happening. Occasionally maybe a car crash, but why would you? Why would you want to post a picture of something awful happening in your day? You generally want to share the good with people, which is natural. It's human instinct. So the first thing that you really need to remember is that what you're seeing is a highlight reel and you need to not compare it to your behind the scenes. That's the biggest thing. Now, the biggest tip, and this is the one thing that I tell all of my one-on-one clients, and the reason I do is because I find that a lot of them are suffering from comparisonitis, and some of them even shut down their social media accounts because they just can't stand to see all these people living these amazing lives while theirs feels a little more average. So the first thing you need to do is stop comparing. For the reason I said before, for the exact reason that you don't know what's going on behind the scenes in someone else's life, just as they don't know what's going on behind the scenes of yours. The second thing you need to do is only compare your life to your life. Now, this may sound a little bit confusing, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper into it. So first of all, you don't want to be comparing to someone else's life for the simple fact that you will never have it. I will never have the same life as my awesome best friend. I will never have the same life as some bikini-clad babe on Instagram. I'm only going to ever have my own life. And I know that sounds kind of obvious, but when you think about it, when you get into these sorts of envy and wanting to be like someone you've seen online or on social media, you're trying to compare your life to theirs in a way that's just not realistic. Your life can only be as good as you can make it. And the way that I sort of encourage you to do this is to only ever compete with yourself. And not in a creepy, crazy, like, I'm going to be better every single day, but in the way that you look back at the day before, you take from it what you loved, you add more of that good stuff in, and then you work out what wasn't so great and start taking steps, to making it better. Taking steps, going, okay, this day wasn't as good, I'm going to make it a little bit better in some way. Now, it sounds a lot easier than it actually is, because you need to have goals. You need to have concrete vision of what you want your life to look like. And now, the funny thing about this is a lot of people kind of look at people's lives that they may actually not really like when they got into it. I personally, I'm not big in flogging myself at the gym, or I'm not big on boot camps. I love yoga and I love walking and I love stretching. I love doing things that are really calming for my body. Whereas one of my best friends, she just loves to get absolutely whipped. She would love to be on a hot beach, having someone yelling at her to run up and down and do squats and do this and that. That's not for me. So comparing my life to hers would just be silly, because I don't enjoy the things that she does. Just like, I love going to the beach. I know people who hate the beach. They're like, oh, the sand and it's hot and then the water's cold and then it's like windy and my umbrella's blowing over and where's my towel? My towel's sandy again, what am I going to do? And these people hate it. So you've got to look at your life and pick out the stuff that you love, that you want to grow on. So if you do love going for hikes, you just need to schedule in some more hikes. I know this is easier said than done. I could not go on a hike. I have a 2-year-old. She would just not have it. But if you can do these things realistically, you look at it and you go, how can I add more of that into my everyday life? You don't try and add in things that aren't going to work. I'm not going to pine for the life of a fitness model, because I don't really like to work out like that. I'm not going to pine for the life of someone who travels every weekend or goes away, because I'm a real homebody. I work from home. I would spend my whole weekend at home if I could. I'm happy in my house, sitting on my balcony, reading a book, just as much as I would be happy doing it in the south of France. And I know that sounds crazy, and I do think travel's amazing and it's a great thing, but personally, I'm so content in my own home. So I'm not going to pine for a life that doesn't really resonate with how I like to live mine. Does that make sense? Okay. So what we're going to do now is I want you to get a pen and paper, and this activity can take you as long as you need it to, or it can be as quick as possible. You may be really in tune from what you want of your life, but the point of this is for you to stop looking at what other people are doing and start focusing on what you want to get out of your life. So first and foremost, I want you to write out what it is you want out of your daily life. And I say daily life because it's really easy to sit there and be like, I want to travel, I want to get a boat, I want to do this, I want to renovate a house. But your daily life is so much more important than those big things. And I think it's amazing to have goals. But for me, if your everyday life is amazing and feeling really fulfilled, and you wake up and you love what you're doing, and you're having a cup of tea in the sun, and you're reading a book before you go to bed, and you're doing all these tiny little things that feel really good, then all the big stuff is just a bonus. If you get to live your life every single day in a way that feels amazing to you, not just looking forward to the big things, the weddings, the parties, the travel, the houses, everything. If you're not looking forward to that all the time, life goes a lot slower. and it's so much more fun. And I can't stress that enough. So much more fun. And that's when you start wanting to Instagram, you know, your morning cup of tea and the beautiful sunrise that you're seeing when you go for your walk in the morning. That's when that stuff starts happening. So I want you to write down what you want your everyday life to look like, from when you wake up in the morning until you go to sleep at night. And you can pause me if you want to, or you can listen to the rest of it and then do it after this video. We're almost finished, I promise. But I just want you to write that out, what your perfect morning, your perfect day, and then your perfect evening would look like from start to finish. Go. Okay, now that you've either done that, or if you're leaving it for later, I want you to work out what you need to add into your day to do more of that. Do you need a checklist on your fridge so that every morning you can say, all right, I am going to meditate this morning. Check. Gold star, whatever you need to do it. I think it's wonderful having systems like that where maybe once you've hit your goal of doing something every day for a week, you get a little reward in the way of, you know, take yourself to a nice place that you really want to be, go for a date with a best friend for a beautiful juice or a coffee or food, whatever floats your boat. Have like a reward at the end of it. I think that's a really good idea. But look at the little things that you need to do, again, to make your everyday life feel as good as it possibly can. Now, the whole point of this blog post or video blog post being about comparisonitis is that once you've got yourself into the habit of creating this day-to-day existence that you love, you start looking through social media and you start looking at other people's lives and you stop wondering why it's not you, because you're so much enjoying the life you're living right now. And as I mentioned, and this is the one thing I can't stress enough, it's not about travel, it's not about things, it's not about the big purchases, it's not about having millions of friends. It's literally about taking what you have now and what's going to work in your life, what you've already got around you, and making the most of it. And taking the really, really little things that may seem insignificant and making them amazing. You know, I love doing face masks, and so every Monday I put out my mask of the day and I leave it out there because I know that at night I'm going to have a really nice bath and put a mask on. And it seems like a really tiny thing, but that's like this half hour of time that I just cherish. I absolutely love it. And it's so easy to do things like that out of fear. You know, it's so easy to be like, I'm going to put a face mask on so I don't get a pimple, or I'm going to do it because, you know, someone gave it to me and I've got to use it up. But how about just doing it because it feels amazing and it's time for you? You know, this is what I want you to get out of this blog. I want for you to go and take all the little things you do day to day and make them amazing, so that when you're scrolling through social media and when you're looking at other people's seemingly perfect lives, you feel amazing and you know that you're living the best version of your life possible. Don't ever try and live someone else's life. It's just not worth it. It's just not fun for the reasons I told you before. They may not like doing things you like doing and vice versa, and you are never, ever, ever going to live someone else's life. You've only got yours. Make the most of what you've got. Make the most of where you live and make the most of the people around you. I hope that in some way this has been beneficial to you. I'm sorry if I have rambled. This is probably why I'm better at typing blog posts, because I just but I hope that in some way you've benefited from it and you feel better, and go off, do your list, start making your day amazing, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon. Bye.